slow, painful death for Najin White Shield. And I mean, that could be kind of a detriment to Shield as well. I mean, in situations like this, because when you lose sort of that long, grueling game, that can be a little bit tough to deal with mentally sometimes. It can be tiring.
Yeah, they're doing the best they can to defend, though, and they can defend quite well. As you can see, it's just...
Well, they know, too, that there is still a chance that if CJ makes a critical mistake in a team fight, they can respond pretty quickly with, you know, possibly an inhibitor, depending on how the lanes are. So it's not like it's completely over for Shield. It's just
well, and Shield found themselves in a very similar situation in their last game in this tournament, where they had lost 2 inhibitors and the enemy was closing in on their Nexus, and they managed to hit a really nice pick inside their base, which gave them a perfect ace, and then they just ran across the map and won the game.
Yeah. They'll get a big grab there. We'll see what happens. Flame starting to put some damage onto that inhibitor turret. 40 minutes in, and all the inhibitor turrets are still up. Yep.
An uncommon situation. Ambition eating a charm right there. He's got to be careful.
Yeah.
Just uses the Playful Trickster to get out of the range. Flame still trying to do what he can in the mid lane, but looks like this top tower may be the first one to go down. They've got to be careful, though. The catch from Nofe very high on that Jarvan.
They do need to be a little bit cautious here. We're rotating over to the mid lane. It looks like they might just be content to go grab Dragon, I guess, at this point.
Well, I think they want to use this opportunity where we have under 2 minutes from Baron just to go ahead, take the Dragon again, and then go back and set up wards, because they don't have any wards now. That last one expired around that Baron. They need to make sure they can take it safely. This is the best chance that they're going to have to do that.
Yeah. That is true. It's not so bad if you let your opponent out of their base if they don't have any sort of farm to really get at that point from their jungle. And there's another dragon for CJ Blaze.
However, by Lustboy helping to take that dragon, even when he really wasn't doing that much because he's Thresh, even though he does have 10,000 gold in this game, which is 3,500 more than Gorilla, it gives Najin White Shield a bit of time to set up around the Baron themselves, get some wards down, and now it's just going to be a little longer while they clear them out.
Yeah, you can see, too, Lustboy even picking up that Negatron cloak to try to survive the burst from Goom's Ahri if he needs to.
Yeah, there's pretty much nothing that Najin White Shield can do at this point in time.
Yeah. Those insta-give picks from Ahri just aren't going to happen in this game anymore at this point.
No, they certainly are not.
Nope. Oh, here we go. CJ moving up towards Baron. Try to get a little bit more vision there, I guess. Or a pick, maybe. There's a ward there.
I mean, it doesn't really matter if there's a ward there. They're so far ahead, and they are noticing it right now. Nofe.
I'm trying to make it dramatic. Come on.
Well, the split push, I mean, really, they just want to bait this as long as possible so they can make sure that Flame makes some headway on the lane right here.
Yeah. Save did go back down there, too. So they do have that 5v4 if they want to stand united and go in on this. See, they're going for Baron. All right, here we go. And Flame actually...
He's trying to get his stand united up. He had to run away. Can he actually pour it? Nope.
Oh, he doesn't do it. Okay, well, they get Baron anyway, but Flame in a little bit of trouble. Trying to back off now. Can Save and Zephyr catch him?
He has his flash.
Yeah, he should be okay. There's a taunt into the bush. Goong coming in. Flame is solo. There's a flash in the bush, but Spirit Rush for Goong. Oh, man, he's so low. Zephyr, one more Arcane Shift will do it. Mystic Shot gets blocked. Oh, True Shot Barrage finishes the job, but unfortunately the inhibitor going down.
Yeah, smile on Flame's face right there, but we have the fight going on in the base.
That's right, the ult from Ambition on to save, not the most efficient. Looks like Emperor will take his first kill of the game. There goes Gorilla. They're getting pushed back pretty hard. Ambition low, but he slows that GA save. Has his ultimate up, they can just wait that one out. They can actually just back off here. They got the inhibitor, totally worth losing Flame for. Only a second death of the game, that's not too bad.
No, it's not, and by using that True Shot Barrage as well to finish him off, they didn't have any way really to stop them from taking that inhibitor as well.
Yeah.
So they've got some time, wait for Flame to come back up, and now they'll have the super minion push that they really needed in order to actually finish off this game.
The super minion push that they've always wanted.
Well,
well.
It's been a long one. Let's take a look at actually what happened to this inhibitor right there. Well, Zyra ult goes off. Hits absolutely nobody. Nofei gets a couple good knockups right there, but Save finds himself with the Earth on him. Ambition gets onto Gorilla with a nice flash right there. Zhonya's to protect himself. Emperor chases off the rest, and that'll allow Daydream and Ambition to escape with nearly no HP. Nice zone there by Emperor.
Man, actually, Goong mistimed his charm right at the very end of that Zhonya's. It was like a split second too early. If he would have hit with that, that would have been a dead Ambition. That would have been a nice consolation prize anyway.
Dead fish.
That's right. Which can be tasty.
They are tasty.
Yeah. Just only right away, not after like a couple days. Then, not so much.
Ambition doesn't have any mana right now, but is charging up a little bit, and now they're going to go for the top bot split push to make it as difficult as possible for this Najin White Shield team to defend this.
Well, it's kind
here
of
it comes. That bot turret is very, very low as well.
Yeah. The slow death continues. Najin White Shield. Lustboy taking a little bit of damage. He's okay. And here we go. Yeah, that turret's not going to last very long at all. Ambition has to back off, though. They need to be a little bit careful. Flame, in the meantime, there's nothing really careful about that, but he's going right after the turrets. They actually grab Goong. They're coming in. There's the box. They don't get him with the play, but he's so low anyway. An easy kill from Ambition. Save coming in the back. Dominus is Pop Zephyr already on the run. The Cocoon grabs him. He goes down. Double kill for Emperor already. That is going to be it. A double kill for Ambition on top of it. The Nexus turrets go down. The Nexus will be soon to follow, and CJ Blaze takes game one.
Yeah, and I really like Najin White Shield's early game, but CJ Blaze did a much better job of using their strategy in the mid and late game and closing that one out. Ambition.
You know, it just seemed like Najin White Shield was just a little bit too scared. They were a little bit too
and they had
tentative.
No reason to be scared, too. They had so much vision control in the early game.
Well, no doubt there is a bit of an intimidation factor going up against a team like CJ Blaze and up against that guy right there.
Yeah, Flame had another great game. Yep. Really nice taunts in the 5v5 team fights.
As always.
As we've come to expect.
It's what he does. Flame's got more taunts than the entire Bugs Bunny cartoon library.
Well, Najin White Shield, they had a great early game. They had a good game plan coming into this. And we know they can close. We've seen it, where they've looked really sharp, but they need to get it together for this second game of the series.
Yep. Well, we'll see if they can. A short break, and then we'll be back for CJ Blaze versus Najin White Shield, game number 2, here at OGN on the WCG Korea National Finals 2013. It's going to be awesome. And there's a microphone and a headset in all of its glory. And that will be worn by one of the players in the next game. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with game number 2, Shield versus Blaze, coming up in just a few.
We play League of Legends for fun, and it's usually more fun when we win. It takes a lot to succeed in LoL, and games are won with more than individual skill and reflexes. Your ability to coordinate as a team has a significant impact on a game's outcome. In fact, sportsman-like players win over 1.7 million more games than average players every day. Teamwork plays a bigger role in League than you might think. Let's take a closer look at how it can impact your game. Say you start a game and one of your teammates gives up a few early kills. Before you know it, he's throwing a tantrum. Now you've got a choice. You could go full 5-year-old on him, yell and scream and give him hell, because of course, that'll help the situation improve. What some players fail to understand is epic comebacks don't come from berating your teammates. Rage doesn't win games. Each negative player on a team decreases your chances of winning, from a 54% average win rate with 0 ragers down to a 46% win rate with 3. And it keeps getting worse from there. So, it makes more sense to focus on winning. Help your teammate out. Buy some wards or concentrate on your lane, and keep tempers from flaring in chat. Players who keep their team focused win more games. Players who fight fire with fire sabotage their own chances at winning. Sportsmanship and teamwork win games. The impact of teamwork can be tracked in real time, too. You just have to follow the goal. Our early findings suggest a direct correlation between a team's behavior and the gold they're capable of earning in a match. In this case, things start to go downhill after a failed game. One player decides the other is a noob and flies off the handle. Meanwhile, the opposing team stays focused, which means they can grab objectives. More objectives, more gold. More gold, more needlessly large items. More needlessly large items, more GG. The power of teamwork can even be traced down to the individual level. Players with a record of positive behavior win 10% more games than the average Joe. On the other hand, a player with a report history will on average go on to win 35% fewer games. It's pretty clear. Teams that help each other through tough scrapes are much more likely to win. So, next time you're looking for a win in League, just remember, teamwork OP.
Welcome back, guys, to WCG Korea. I am Doa. With me is Monty Cristo, as always, and we are about to go into game number 2 between Najin White Shield and CJ Blaze. Real question is, can Najin White Shield go beyond the flame? Even I'm a little bit sad about that one, but it's true. It's actually true. And the rest of the members of CJ, I guess, too.
Yeah, but doesn't sound as good. The World
It's true.
Cyber Games. Well,
Beyond the flame.
beyond the flame.
Well, it's time to meet heart to heart and face to face.
That's right.
Summoner's Rift.
Well,
right.
it's an interesting predicament because we did see Najin White Shield play a very nice early game.
Yeah, they look good at the
and
beginning.
Have some good ideas about what to do, but they seemed afraid to commit to those ideas.
It was so weird because they had a very clear plan coming into it. The very early Dragon, the early Pink Wards, it was very coordinated. And then after that point, it was like, well, we want to do this, but we're kind of too scared.
Yeah.
And you're not going to beat Blaze playing like that.
No, you're not. And Blaze did what Blaze does, which is farm up in the side lanes with Ambition and Flame, get huge, and then destroy you in team fights in the late game.
Yep.
Pretty textbook for this team. And they're still able to do that. And that's what always made them a threat. That's what kept them kind of a tier 1 team, is that it takes a certain caliber of team. They're kind of like the threshold. Like, are you one of the best teams in Korea? Because
Yeah, they kind of are, actually.
they're predictable.
Yeah.
They're still predictable. So if you can take advantage of that, then you can kind of pass the bar and get up to that top level in Korea status. But they never had any problem taking out some of the tier 2 teams just by using that same strat and the strength of their own individual players.
You know, I do feel, too, that now that style is almost increased a bit with the addition of Emperor and Daydream. You know, now they've got, I feel like, legitimately 5 members on the team that can all be aggressive, that can all be duelists and make plays. Whereas before, you know, Captain Jack is not, you know, quite as much there. Helios sometimes, but now it feels like we've got 5 solid duelists, which makes it really strong. But either way, guys, here we go. Najin White Shield's last chance to get a win and get an opportunity to play against Samsung Blue tomorrow to decide who goes to the WCG World Finals next month.
That's right. The Z-Band going down, of course, right away. I'm curious if Goong has some more champions, because I haven't been overly impressed with his Ahri play. His Gragas has been solid, but it's being banned out this game alongside that Zyra pickup, and Nidalee going down as well. You do not want Flame to get his hands on that one.
No, not so much. We've seen what happens. And one last ban. There we go. The Ezreal ban against Zephyr.
Well, this is an interesting situation. Are they going to go ahead and ban that Corki? They still have to deal with the Shen potentially as well. And Flame is an absolute monster on that champion, as we've seen repeatedly here at WCG.
I mean, I personally feel like they should ban Shen. I mean, Flame's just too big of a difference in the split push, in the team fights. They're going to ban Corki, though. And so will we see that Shen picked up first for CJ Blaze?
Yeah, Save does like to play the Renekton into the Shen, but they're going to grab the Thresh first instead. Now the question is, will Save actually try and play that Shen away from CJ Blaze this time, or
That's a good question.
Are they comfortable with that Flame split push? Not too many people are, I would say.
This pick ban phase feels like a game of chicken. You know, it's like, well, we're not going to take Shen, so now you want him? Go ahead. We're not going to take him yet. They are going to grab Caitlyn for Zephyr. Zephyr is a pretty good Caitlyn player, and they want to keep that away from Emperor as well. Now that Corki and Ezreal are banned out. But I really feel like Emperor had no trouble at all playing Vayne last game.
Yeah, that said, though, you really want the 2v1 if you're going to be playing Vayne into Caitlyn. In a 2v2 situation, Caitlyn has a pretty big upper hand in terms of her range and her early game harassment. It's very difficult for Vayne to stay in lane.
Yeah. And Aatrox possibly picked up for Daydream. We did see that hyper aggressive Aatrox start for him earlier in the week, getting the double Doran's Blades and just trying to get as many kills as, I guess you can't say humanly possible, but it's like otherworldly, time demonly possible, sort of. He's like sort of like a time-traveling demon, it seems like.
I don't know, though. You know I don't read the lore.
I guess. I do. He kind of struck me as sort of a time-traveling Doc Brown, only much more sinister.
a lot more claws and swords.
Looks pretty heavy, man.
Yeah, the build he's been going to has been pretty interesting. Double Doran's Blade straight into the Aegis of the Legion. So, will we see that support Annie with the Caitlyn?
That would be pretty cool. And we may. Yeah, I guess we will. All right, Annie locked in for Najin White Shield.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and take the Elise this game as well. Nove moving away from that Jarvan, which is his staple jungle champion. And we'll have to see how he does with this one. But the composition looking pretty similar this time around. There's the Vayne pickup. There aren't too many options left in terms of solid 80 carries.
You know, Talon may actually not be bad in terms of getting into the back lines. Annie very squishy. Talon can dodge that Tibbers pretty easily, and Caitlyn would be a bit vulnerable as well. I don't think they're going to lock it in, but kind of makes you think a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to get onto Caitlyn very easily. He may be able to dodge some Tibbers, but there we go. We may see Ambition's Ahri come into play right here, and actually Emperor opting with Varus this time around, so a very different kind of AD carry, but
yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Going to be able to help with that hard CC. It's a lot of pressure on to Lustboy and Daydream, though, to dish out a little bit more damage than they might normally. And Orianna may be the pick for Goong here in the mid lane. They've got a lot of control right now. Najin White Shield going pretty heavy onto the CC, and you better believe they're going to be going for those 5v5 team fights again.
I do like the Varus pickup too, because it's definitely a little bit safer in lane against that Annie than Vayne would be. And in team fights, you can kind of sit back, play that Legolas build you guys were calling it at the World Championships, and just poke with that Q.
Yeah, they do have good poke, and they do have good siege. You know, we assume that Save's going to be going into a split-pushing lane again, so you have to really consider the 4v4 right here. And yes, great siege from CJ Blaze. The issue comes in that if they just get into a fight without having any kind of poke right off the bat, Najin White Shield's going to have a distinct damage advantage. CJ Blaze has to make sure that they can get into a situation where they can at least poke down and chunk some of those health bars before Najin White Shield's able to go in. A lot of pressure on Gorilla this game in order to have some solid Annie ultimates.
Should be pretty cool. Well, once again, Stretchovision shows us our lineup for both teams. Pretty solid teams for both of these guys, actually, both of these organizations. And I feel like the big key to this game, we talked about it already, but Shield just needs to play with more confidence. They've got what it takes to beat Blaze. They really do. They just need to play it. They just need to do it.
Yeah, we'll see if they have another plan in store for the second game in the early part of this match.
That's right. Well, here we go, guys. Game number 2 between Najin White Shield and CJ Blaze. The game's loading up. Blaze looking to close it up 2-0. Can they do it? Let's get in the game. Welcome, Summoner's Rift, CJ Blaze versus Najin White Shield. Set number 2 in this best of 3 WCG Korea 2013 semifinal match. And the last chance for Najin White Shield. Can they do it? Can they do it with Annie? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of utility here with Annie, because if Goong can land a good shockwave as well, the follow-up CC from Annie is absolutely enormous.
Oh, yeah.
And if you hold people in the ultimate of Renekton while Zepha's Caitlyn is raining down headshots, just so much potential damage. But CJ Blaze has another good composition for setting up those picks. You've got the Aatrox for the knockup, you've got the Charm, the Chain of Corruption, and the Death Sentence all coming in, able to easily catch someone out of position. So
yeah,
CJ Blaze these last couple of games really pick-heavy comps. Not something that they've done quite this hard in the past.
I like it, though. I mean, we talked a lot about last game about how their strategy was very similar to things they've done for a long time, but we have seen this week, and we have seen in this tournament that they are breaking away a little bit from always kind of defaulting to that style, too.
Yeah, we see the exact same level 1 coming down from CJ Blaze this game. They get those 2 wards over one more time.
Yeah.
So a lot of resources invested into the level 1 warding.
Yeah, it's so common these days where you see supports go into lane at level 1 with like only 1 ward.
Well, if you know where the jungler is, there's not a lot of threats. So.
Very true. All right, well, looks like it's going to be a blue steal from CJ Blaze.
And we are going to see that lane swap. So early on, Najin Whiteshield should have a little bit of an edge right here, just because Shen getting caught out early on can be quite problematic. But again, CJ Blaze is doing the jungle follow. Now, we haven't seen them do this before, and this is probably learned behavior from Royal at Worlds. They probably saw this from Royal Club and are now starting to use it. Save poking his head into the jungle right there. But this is something that Royal did in their match against Fnatic, in their first game against Fnatic. And this is not behavior that I've seen in Korea before, so I assume that it's coming from there.
It's really exciting. I really love the cross-pollination that we've seen as a result of a lot of the stuff that popped up at Worlds. I mean, Korea really does, it seems like, want to sort of absorb a lot of the stuff from other regions now in their play. It's a bit of a change, but it does tend to happen over time with these Korean teams.
All right, well, Nove doing exactly what we saw last time, coming in very early to do a little bit of dirty firing behind the turret and force Flame out with those double buffs. So another aggressive start. Save has abandoned his turret in its entirety, trying to get some XP by taking Wraiths. And Daydream, once again, opting to farm the jungle early on instead of helping out his lane.
Yeah. Going to see this very, very early turret again from Najin Whiteshield, like a sub-4-minute turret possibly here.
Yeah, they have a huge advantage too with this turret early on.
Yeah.
Very nicely played. Nove backing off right now. He's confident that his dual lane can finish this one off. Should happen in the next wave or two. Meanwhile, Lane having a lot more trouble. And already, look at this fast rotation up here from Save. He's just setting up to be in position right when this turret goes down.
Yeah. I really like this. I mean, and this is what we were seeing from Najin Whiteshield that was so impressive earlier in this tournament. It's just really clean maneuvers in the early game. We saw a lot of that in game number 1, too. It's just, can they kind of follow up? Have they sort of taken those fears that they had in game number 1?
Well, it's taking a little bit longer than it should have. They're going to have to wait for an extra wave right here. And that may actually buy CJ Blaze enough time to take down the turret of their own. And it will indeed. So we should have turrets going down simultaneously.
Almost, yeah.